got another hit, and then the announcer actually, in a neutral site conference tournament game, said that hit just tied the UMary all-time career hit record. So obviously, there was a bunch of parents there from my school and all my teammates, and they all stood up, gave me a congratulatory, stand up.
Welcome to episode 387 of Alberta Dugout Stories podcast. I'm Joe McFarland. Another big week for baseball in our neck of the woods, so let's get right into the news. And this time, we're going to start in the minor leagues, where the talk of the town has been a major trade. The Cleveland Guardians sent Matt Tugboat Wilkinson and a draft pick to the San Francisco Giants for Gold Glove catcher Patrick Bailey. The former Okotoks Dog star reported to the AA Richmond Flying Squirrels and made his first start for the team on Wednesday, and he did tugboat things, to be honest with you. He threw 5 scoreless innings of 2 hit balls, striking out 6 and walking none, to move his record to 2-2 on the season. He also has a 1.35 ERA and 42 Ks in 7 starts. Also in the minors, St. Albert's Eric Hartman has been absolutely on fire all season long in High A Rome, so much so that he's moved himself into Baseball America's top 100 prospects list. His numbers are just bananas as the Dogs Academy alum is hitting .326 with 12 homers, 31 RBI, and 14 stolen bases in just 33 games. Speaking of top 100 prospects, Innisfail's Nathan Flewelling is also on the list. The St. Joe's Academy product is also having a breakout season in High A with Bowling Green, hitting .295 with 7 homers, 18 RBI, and 2 swipes in 29 games. Dogs product Matt Lloyd is back in action with AAA Worcester after a stint on the IL. He picked up his first homer last Thursday night and is now hitting .214 with 6 RBI in 8 games. Fellow Dog Gavin Logan had himself a night to remember on Saturday, hitting 3 home runs and driving in 5 for the AA Amarillo Sod Poodles. He's hitting .219 with 6 round trippers and 16 RBI in 23 games. And it's been a while since we last checked in on Regina's Thomas Ireland. The Martin Academy alum is in AAA with the Round Rock Express and is 1-1 on the season in 8 appearances, sporting a 3.24 ERA and 24 strikeouts. In the big leagues, Calgary's Michael Soroka continues to deal with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He made the start on Monday, going 6 1/3 of scoreless baseball, allowing just 3 hits and a walk while striking out 5 in a 1-0 win over Texas. He's now 5-2 on the season with a 3.53 ERA. He also has 47 strikeouts in those 8 starts. Edmonton's Eric Sabrowski has made 3 more flawless relief appearances in Cleveland over the past week. The Absolute Human Performance product went 3 innings of no-hit baseball, walking 3 and striking out 8. He's now 1-1 with a 1.86 ERA in 22 games, striking out 35. And Dogs Academy alum Tristan Peters continues to swing a steady stick with the Chicago White Sox. He picked up a few more hits over the course of the week to keep his average at .271 and now has 7 RBI and 4 stolen bases. He just needs to get that first big league dinger now. To the college ranks we go, and we'll start in the CCBC, where it's coming down to the wire on a few fronts. Prairie Baseball Academy is in top spot with a 23-9 record thanks to a 3-1 weekend against TRU. The Dogs are just 1 game up on Okanagan College. UFV is third at 19-13, just 1 game up on Edmonton Collegiate after the Hawks got swept by VIU. And the University of Calgary Dinos are in sole possession of 5th with a 15-17 mark after splitting a weekend set with the Victoria Golden Tide. They are now 1 game up on both UBC and VIU. This weekend is a bit crazy with several 2-game series to wrap up the regular season. PBA visits Edmonton on Friday, then the Dinos on Saturday, then EC and UC do battle in the capital on Sunday. Remember, the top 6 teams in the CC will do battle in the championships next weekend in Lethbridge. Down south, plenty of awards and accolades to be passed around. Regina's Chance Deskelchuk and Saskatoon's Ethan Forrest have been named all Mondac Conference first-team winners. Both had outstanding seasons for the Miles Community College Pioneers, and if you missed it, Deskelchuk was a guest on last week's show and is the focus of our latest story on SaskatchewanDugoutStories.com. A tip of the cap to Saskatoon's Corey Waters. After hitting .337 with 4 homers and 32 RBI in 44 games at Winthrop University, he signed on with the Cape Catfish of the Prospect League. Okotoks native Ryder Hancock is going pro. The Dogs Academy alum just put the wraps on his collegiate career by hitting .309 with 13 doubles, a triple, 21 RBI, and 5 stolen bases in 43 games at the University of Mount Olive. Hancock has signed on with the London Majors. After a slower start to the season, former Dog Eric Matchey has put together a very solid campaign at Illinois State University. He's hitting .278 with 4 homers and 28 RBI in 42 games. And Vauxhall grad Brendan McTavish continues to rake. He's lifted his average to .393 and hit a pair of homers in big playoff games at Midland Community College. He brings that homer total to 9 to go along with 46 RBI in 47 games. A quick shout out as well to friend of the show Logan Grant as he's signed on with Missoula Paddleheads of the Pioneer League. His signing was announced the same day as former Sylvan Lake Gulls infielder Tai Yukamoto. They start their season in a week's time when they visit the Oakland Ballers. On the WCBL front, in case you missed it, Ian's been hard at work with season previews for all 12 teams, which are still being rolled out. The rosters are all coming together now, and it won't be long before they all start to gather and get ready for opening day, May 28th. Yes, we will be back with our WCBL season preview extravaganza episodes and our usual coverage, so stay tuned for all of that. We are just a week away from what promises to be an outstanding display of the sport in Lethbridge. The first ever Canadian Grand Slam of Baseball is set for May 21st to 31st with all kinds of events, including the CCBC World Series, the Bulls home opener, the Road to Okotoks qualifier, a Girls Got Game event, and more. Head to bullsbaseball.com for all the details. Next weekend is also a major event in Calgary with Girls with Game YYC's annual celebration. It's set for 1 p.m. at Confederation Park North with special guest Sydney Barry. They're also touting a major announcement, which we will get you all the details on as soon as they're made available. Speaking of the ladies, Baseball Canada has unveiled the schedule for the women's national team as they get ready for the Women's Baseball World Cup group playdowns in Rockford, Illinois. They'll play 5 games in 5 days starting July 22nd, and they'll be facing Hong Kong, Korea, Mexico, the U.S., and Australia. The top 3 teams will go to the Women's World Cup in 2027. A big congratulations to Dogs Academy Black on capturing their hometown Mother's Day Classic as they downed Weber Academy's college prep team 11-3 in the final of what was an outstanding tournament with plenty of good weather. And on the commitment front this week, a big one out of AHP as pitcher Sam Davis is going to Virginia Tech University, and at Barry's Academy, pitcher Connor Ralston will head to Miles Community College. When we come back, a trio of great conversations with Nick Sauve, Kalem Haney, and Geoff Seto. This is Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame legend and Dogs coach Matt Stairs is fired up for the road to Okotoks this summer.
It's something that you just live for, really, as a high school player. You know, the opportunity to come and have the top 16 teams throughout, again, from Newfoundland to British Columbia, to come in and having a chance to play in front of a ton of people and scouts and bragging rights. For me, that's the biggest thing. That's even the excitement.
The Road to Okotoks, July 14th to 19th. Get your tickets at theroadtookotoks.ca. Welcome back to the program, and we'll start things off guest-wise with Calgary native and Okanagan College catcher Nick Sauve. He's been outstanding in his senior season with the Yotes, hitting a league-best .438 to go along with 2 homers, 22 RBI, and 5 stolen bases in 26 games while handling a relatively new pitching staff for the number 2 ranked team in the CC. After getting to know him a bit after last year's WCBL All-Star Game, I thought we'd catch up with Sauve to talk about his year and heading up north again to Fort McMurray this summer. Nick, welcome back to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Looking up at the CCBC batting average leaderboard, and there's a familiar face there. Nick Sauve at .438 in what's been a solid year so far across the board numbers-wise. I always ask this, though. How are you feeling about the year you're having?
Pretty good. Can't complain at all. Came into the season, high expectations for myself. I'd say I kind of surpassed those. Coming off the season I had last year, driving in runs, being able to hit the ball hard for extra base hits and whatnot. And then this year, still being able to do that. Not as many pumps as I wanted, but I'm still able to contribute and doing everything I can. So I can't complain at all.
What's been key to that success in your eyes?
Having fun. It's that senior year I'm having. It's just going out there and just being able to do what I can for the team. being able to, like, primary goal for me is being the catch for the team, being able to lead from behind the dish. So when I'm able to do that well, my bat just kind of comes along, and it's been working. So.
Speaking of, how has the defensive side of the ball looked from your perspective? Are you happy with your performance behind the dish?
Oh, I've been very happy with it. Being a catcher, you just gotta love the position. So I've always loved it, and then last 4 years I feel like I've really developed into a plus catcher. So this year I've had great pitchers that I've worked with, guys that I've been here for 4 years with, and another pitcher I've known since I was in grade 10. So being able to catch them for so long, it's just kind of rhythm, and it's just going through the motions at this point with them.
Heading into the year, I know there are some question marks maybe about the pitching staff that OC has, and maybe how young some of those guys are. How have they done through your eyes and your vantage point?
It is definitely a turnover this year with our pitching staff. We've lost some guys, but we also had some guys step up. But it's different because we just have younger guys. They have to learn the mental side of things, and this year showing it's more of a battle. Hitters are hitting this year, so pitchers are having to come out, really have to turn on their game and find a way to beat the hitters this year. And we've had some guys do that, and then some guys haven't, and it's a learning curve. But I definitely think in the future years they'll figure that out, and some guys will definitely become dogs for us.
And even beyond that, as those learning curves kind of hit, you are trying to really kind of set yourself up for that final weekend in Lethbridge. And walk us through what the vibes in the clubhouse right now as you guys get ready to make another run for a championship here.
We haven't been too focused on it, really. We're very game by game. You know, I treat every game as a new one. We're not really focused on, oh crap, it's right there and there. But going into champs, we're just trying to focus on playing our game. It's clean baseball, next guy up to the dish. It's not a one man team. We got 9 guys in the lineup that can hit, and we have a pitching staff that they will go out there and they'll shove and they'll attack the zone. So that's what we're hoping for.
You've been through this all before. Is there anything that you're trying to tell the guys, maybe to get whether it's, get the nerves calmed down, or maybe it's just a matter of informing them? Is there anything that you're really trying to pass along to them as we get into the last couple of weeks here?
Having fun. Like that's been the big motto. Like, it's coming through the 4 years, I was able to see the old seniors who were pushing 25, and when they were here, it was also just have fun. They were on their last legs of playing ball, and even though I'm 21, pushing on. Like, you have 4 years here, maybe 5, but you just want to enjoy the moment. So don't want to put too much pressure on it, but you just want to go out there and enjoy the moments.
Speaking of enjoying the moment, you are a baseball senior, as you put it off air with me. Walk us through maybe some of the emotions, some of the things that you're thinking about as you head towards your last couple of weeks worth of spring collegiate baseball.
I can't really say it's set in much yet. It's kind of like it's just like out of grasp a little bit, and it's just like a thought process right now. I feel when senior day comes along Sunday, all the emotions will flow in. But yeah, it's crazy to think it's 4 years have gone by of friendship and a lot of time spent at the ball field. So,
any favorite memories or moments from your time at OC?
Well, I have to say, last year, winning the championship there. I'd have to put that up there. That's number one.
For sure. And I mean, what did that mean to you looking back on it? And maybe what are some of the lessons that you learned from that you're hoping to instill on, especially some of those younger guys as you head towards another one here?
All those open extra hitting sessions and all that extra work that we put in the field pays off. Because I have to say, like, showing up as the extra hours that we had throughout the off season, and then even in season on off days going in to hit with guys, and just figuring out things and talking through certain actions and whatnot. It all worked out. So that's kind of like the same thing this year. It's just showing up when you need to, getting that extra work, and hopefully it pays off in the long term.
For sure. And I mean, the journey's not quite done, obviously, from a baseball perspective yet, as it appears as though you're heading back to Fort McMurray for another WCBL season. How excited are you to get things rolling again with the Giants?
I'm really pumped. It's a quick turnaround from the CC season to the WCBL, so it's not much of a time off and whatnot, but I'm pumped to be back out there. We have a handful of guys coming back, same coaching staff, so I'm really pumped to go back out there.
What'd you learn last year that maybe you can hope to impart upon those guys this season so you can make a postseason run this time around?
Staying as a group all the way through the season. Last year, from the start, we were a little shaky at the start of the get-go, and then we kind of found a little bit of rhythm, and hopefully we can get that established right off the get-go. Because I feel that's what helps during summer ball teams, is teams that are already connected from the start. It's having the same core guys, and when you have that coming back year after year, it's easier to start up.
Absolutely. How about another WCBL All-Star game, perhaps?
Oh, I would love that. Not putting expectations on that. It's have fun again for the summer. Don't want to put any pressure on myself. It's just baseball at the end of the day. So.
For sure. Absolutely. Final question for you here, Nick. We had you on not that long ago, so I don't have to ask you what does baseball mean to you, but what would it mean to you to take home a second CCBC championship in just a couple of weeks' time?
It means like all of my hard work and the team's work that we've put in would pay off, and all the friendships we've made and all that is just, it's all worked out. It'll just be, even if it doesn't, it's a lot of good friends made and whatnot. So I can't complain at all. We want that second ring this year.
Without a doubt. Well, great to chat with you once again here, Nick. Congrats on all the success at OC. Best of luck this summer with Fort Mac and beyond. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Next up is another college senior in Kalem Haney. The Lethbridge native and Vauxhall Academy grad was named an all-conference second team after hitting .376 with 3 homers and 17 RBI in 38 games for the University of Mary, also playing some stellar defense at second and helping the Marauders to one of their best seasons ever. He also goes out as the program's all-time leader in hits and runs scored. He'll be back in Alberta this summer with Lethbridge Bulls and is looking forward to giving it one last hurrah. Kalem, welcome back to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you so much for having me again. This is awesome.
Let's start here. Kalem Haney, UMary's all-time hits and runs scored leader. How does that sound now that you've been able to take a couple of days to let it all soak in?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've been here now for 5 years, redshirted my first year, and it's kind of crazy how it all kind of worked out. Now I am the all-time hits and runs leader, so it's pretty cool. But at the end of the day, I can't do that without the pleasure with my teammates and also the coaching staff that I've had around me. So it's been awesome, and truly, this place has been a special place in my heart for the rest of my life.
For sure. When it comes to the hit side, you got that one in the final weekend of the season there. Did you know you were close heading in, first off? And secondly, was it something that was even on your mind, especially as you're trying to battle for playoffs and all that kind of thing?
Yeah, I knew I was close. I knew I was close throughout the year. I got injured late in the year, kind of tweaked my hamstring later in the year. So I kind of, when that happened, I was like, you know what, it's not happening, whatever. Wasn't meant to be. And then when I go into the playoffs, sure, I had a number that I knew I had to reach. And then, but at the end of the day, it's about winning ball games and trying to do what I could to help the team win. So I definitely knew I was close, and I knew there was a number I had to get to. But it was, by the end of the year, when we got to the tournament, it wasn't about how many hits I can get. It was more about how many games can we win. So put team success over individual success for sure.
Mm-hmm. I know, especially in that moment, you're in the heat of the moment, so to speak. You're trying to win a ball game, like you said. Did you know when you're on base that A, you got it, and B, was there much in the way of at least a congratulatory handshake or that kind of thing when you got back to the dugout?
Yeah, so it was actually pretty cool. So I led off, got a hit in my first at-bat on the day, on the Saturday or the Friday morning. I knew I needed 3 going into the day. So I got a hit in the first at-bat, was struck out, I think, and then got another hit. And then the announcer actually, in a neutral site conference tournament game, the announcer said that hit just tied the UMary all-time career hit record. So obviously, there was a bunch of parents there from my school and all my teammates, and they all stood up, gave me a congratulatory stand up. But after that, I got another at bat late in the game, and I got a single, and that's kind of when it kind of set in, wow, I am that's pretty cool. My first base coach, who I actually played with, Mikey Polson, who actually played also for Sylvan Lake a couple of years back. Mm-hmm. He's the graduate assistant here. He gave me a big hug on first base. So that was a pretty cool moment. And obviously Tanner Spencer, our head coach, got the ball, and I have it right beside me right here. So it's pretty cool. But yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, you guys wanted to go a little bit further in playoffs and compete for a World Series and all that kind of thing. But when you look back on that whole thing, and not only that, but the whole career at UMary, what's that mean to you? What's that whole experience been for you, particularly, especially getting to spend, your whole post-secondary career there?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's especially in the times now where the transfer portal is such a big thing and everyone's hitting the portal looking for a new school. It's pretty cool to say I spent all 5 years at one school, and it's pretty cool to see how the program's kind of turned. When I first committed, I don't think we had a over 500 wins, over 500 season. And then now, we finished third in the NSIC in the regular season, finished third in the tournament. We're in conversation for regionals. We're the last team out of regionals in the central region. It's pretty cool to see how this program has really turned a corner. And it's pretty cool to be a part of the first year where this is the standard now. So it's cool to be kind of going out where this is kind of the standard, and it's up to the next guys coming in. So it's definitely a cool thing to be a big part of the program, and also just at the end of the day, helping the team win. And I've met my best friends here too. So it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, a lot of times you might be the token or one of 2 or 3 Canadians on the roster. That Marauders roster is always chock full of Canadians. We'll get to Tanner Spencer in a second, but how fun has that side of it been, is knowing that, hey, you all are making some noise while also being a good chunky of Canadian?
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. It's throughout my entire career, we've always had at least, I would say, 10 plus Canadians, even more, truly, honestly, probably 15 plus Canadians. So it's kind of cool that names, you hear names, and then you see, guys coming from Langley Blaze, guys coming from Okotoks. My partner up the middle, I played second. My shortstop, Hank Griffin, was an Okotoks kid. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool, just kind of being around and also having so much success that, hey, there's good ball players up north too. It's not just the guys down south that are making impacts as well.
Mm-hmm. When I mention the name Tanner Spencer, what comes to mind?
It truly very influential for me. He has been, for my baseball career, me and him have a great relationship, and I truly am so grateful for everything that he has done for me and done for this program as well. He is someone that I will look up to, and I will cherish our relationship and him as a coach for the rest of my life. He is a great person, and he's a great head coach. He is a great motivator, knows baseball to the absolute max. He's a special guy. Mm-hmm.
And also setting records and winning Coach of the Year as well, which has been fantastic to watch. When you look back on your time at UMary, what's been your biggest takeaway or your highlight from your time there?
I think just being standards upheld. We talk about every day, every meeting we have, we talk about our 4 values that we as Marauders kind of want to have. And I think as the year kind of progressed, you see it in every single game, every single action. It's all about winning the first pitch of the game. Mm-hmm. If you win the first pitch of the game, then you go win the second pitch of the game. And I think, to me, that's just what this program is about. And we had 46 guys on our roster that truly upheld the standard every single day and wanted to get better. So that's to me very special.
Mm-hmm. How surreal was senior day for you?
It was surreal. It was cool. But when it happens, you kind of realize hey, we still got a couple weeks left, not that big of a deal. And then now it's now that my collegiate career is over, you kind of look back at it, wow, that was a special moment. It was nice to have my parents there, my grandparents there. So it's definitely, it was a cool moment for sure.
Mm-hmm. The journey isn't quite over yet, though, as you're coming back to Lethbridge this summer to play with the Bulls. How excited are you to be back home, first off, and then obviously to get back into the lineup with that squad?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I've always enjoyed my summers playing for the Bulls, and I took a summer off last year. But I'm super excited to kind of play with the guys. It'll be a lot of new guys, a lot of guys that I really haven't played with, so that'll be cool. But I'm really excited to get back in this big stadium and play in front of the home fans.
Mm-hmm. And not just home fans, but you also get to suit up next to a guy that you've known pretty well over the course of, your life. Your brother's going to be suiting up. How cool is that? Is it the first time? And obviously the opportunity to get a chance to play with Carson.
Yeah, no, it's going to be super cool. It's we've never actually played together, so it'll be super cool that I'll get to end my career playing alongside my brother. So I'm super excited, and it should be a really fun summer. So I'm really excited.
We are very excited as well. A couple more for you here. You and I were talking off air about the major that you took. It was elementary education with a minor in special education. I won't ask you about the plan because the plan is still in the works right now. Shout out to anybody who might be listening, who might be hiring for teachers. Kayla might be looking. Besides that, though, is what was it about education that made you go, I want to chase that?
I was never the greatest student growing up, so I kind of always wanted, and then I kind of had just a couple teachers that were so influential in my education career that I kind of wanted to be like that, because not every student is going to be the brightest. Not every student is going to have the best behavior, right? But it's every student has a story. Every student has a purpose, and I want to bring out that purpose for every single child. And I'm super excited to get into that workplace. And I did my student teaching this past spring while playing. So it's definitely going to be cool. And I'm really excited to get in the classroom and have my own students and teach them everything that I know. So
that is awesome. And as somebody who's married to a teacher, a tip of the cap to you as well, because it's not an easy gig by any stretch of the imagination. A couple more for you before we let you go. First off, for those young kids who are just starting out on their baseball journeys and they want to get to where you're at now, they want to have a really successful collegiate career, maybe go even further. What's that one piece of advice or those words of wisdom that you want to impart upon them?
I would say trust the process. It's not overnight. It's not just going to happen. I think it's in college. It takes 4 or 5 years, right? You get redshirt year. But it's not just going to happen overnight. I think trusting the process, trusting your coaches, trusting the people around you, trusting your seniors, trusting the older guys, the upperclassmen in your roster, like asking them questions. I think that is just a key point to emphasize. Like at the end of the day, every piece of knowledge that you can ask someone or gain from someone can help you in the long run. It might not help you in that specific moment, but you never know when you're going to run into a situation where you might need it. So it's trusting your process, trusting people around you, trusting your coaching staff is such a key aspect. And I think that is the main thing I would say.
Do you see coaching in your future perhaps as well?
I do. I do. I think it's something that I want to get into. I had so many great coaches growing up, and I kind of want to give it back now. I want to be able to help people around me, help players around me, give the knowledge that I've kind of learned throughout my career, whether it's when I was at Vauxhall Academy, when I've been here at UMary, whether it's playing for the Lethbridge Bulls and summer ball. I've met so many great people, so many great coaches, and I want to. It's my turn. It's my time to give back.
That is fantastic. Final one, and I know I asked this way back when in 2023, so I'm curious how your answer has evolved over time. Kalem, what's the game of baseball mean to you?
At this point, it means everything. It's brought me so many great memories, so many great friendships, and I'm truly just so thankful for the game. It's a game that you can't hide. You cannot hide in the game of baseball. You need to. You can't run out the clock. You can't just take a knee. You have to. Every pitch matters, and every single situation matters. And I think that it's same with life. It's every single situation you're in, it's going to matter. So I think that's what the game of baseball means to me. It's just a precursor for the rest of your life, and I'm super excited for this summer to finish my baseball career, and then also get into the workplace after.
Well, we're super excited for you as well. Kalem, congratulations on the outstanding collegiate career. Best of luck as you head towards Lethbridge and back home for a little bit. Looking forward to seeing you around the ballpark. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
When we come back, we preview the upcoming Canadian Future Showcase tryouts with Geoff Seto. This is Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. For 20 years, the Dogs have called Okotoks home. Home to summer nights at the ballpark, unforgettable moments, and of course, championships. With the season upon us, they're ready to celebrate with the community that made it all possible. Join the party at dogsbaseball.ca. Baseball's home is in Lethbridge this summer. The Canadian Grand Slam of Baseball Showcase and Festival takes center stage May 21st to 31st with the CCBC World Series and much more, including the new Canadian Baseball Legends Gala featuring Kevin Pillar. Learn more at bullsbaseball.com. Welcome back, and we'll put the wraps on this week's regular episode by chatting with Geoff Seto. He's the man behind the Blue Jays Academy Canadian Future Showcase, and he's actually the senior manager, youth baseball development with the Jays, overseeing a variety of different events throughout the year, not the least of which being the showcase, which is usually planned for mid-September. While those logistics are still being worked out, the planning is well underway on getting players selected, and it all comes to a head with the annual showcase tryouts. This year's tour starts in Sylvan Lake next Tuesday, being May 19th, then to Saskatoon the following day before traveling to other parts of the country. We chatted with Seto about the event, what they're looking for, and how much fun the Niagara University grad is having making all of this come to life. Geoff, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks. Appreciate you having me out.
I'm not going to, well, maybe I will paraphrase an old song. You've packed your bags and you're ready to go, at least to Sylvan Lake and beyond. The Blue Jays Academy Canadian Future Showcase tryout tour is about to get underway here. Sylvan Lake on Tuesday, Saskatoon on Wednesday. How excited are you and the crew to get things rolling?
Yeah, honestly, it's been a long time coming just because it feels like, we just finished the World Series run. And the next thing you know, we were planning out where our tryout locations were going to be and just general planning in terms of our youth baseball programs that we're running in conjunction with the showcase tryouts. But it's crazy how quick time has come because it's literally right around the corner, but it feels like months and months ago that we had this in the hop. So, but no, honestly, to answer your question, super excited. It's another year, which makes it even more exciting. You get to see different players get stronger that have come out year over year, but then also some new players that are coming out of the woodworks, which is great as well too. But yeah, probably one of my favorite times of the year because you get to travel around the country watching some baseball, and there's nothing wrong with that. So.
Not at all. And I mean, you've got the front row seat to some great talent. Walk us through a typical day at each stop.
Yeah, so we'll fly in the day before with our staff, and then once we check in, we'll get up nice and early in the morning, and depending on how far the commute is, we'll head out to the field, and then our team is there fairly early getting set up. So we'll set up the entire field with our 60s, and then we'll get the kids organized, and even on leading up to that as well too, we're packaging up all the evaluation sheets in terms of what we're gonna. How the order and the structure of the tryout's going to go. So that's why, it's really imperative for players to get in there early so that we can have that fully structured. But we'll have position players broken down into different defensive groups and BP groups. And then we'll also have the pitchers set up in bullpens as well too. And then, once we're all set up, we check all the kids in, and then we get through all the players going through their workout. And then we basically pack it up and do it all over again in the next location.
It's a marathon and a sprint all in one, I bet. But it's also kind of a well-oiled machine, right? Like you guys have been doing it for a while now, so it's not like you're reinventing any wheels by any stretch.
No, yeah, that's exactly it. I think we're fortunate to have our help from our baseball operations team with scouts like Pat Griffin. We also brought on. We also brought in Walt Burrows this year, who comes with a wealth of knowledge, and we're super excited to have him on board, helping support our Canadian Future Showcase evaluations. But just with having such a seasoned vet staff, I think it's great to be able to leverage off of them and really lean into things that, maybe we're starting to see, really good resources on things to look for. And their brand and their reputation speaks for itself, but super, super helpful. But yeah, like you said, we're not reinventing the wheel. It's still a round ball. You still hit it with a bat. You still catch it with a glove, right? So still just the things that we're looking for as the game evolves.
Speaking of things you're looking for, what are you looking for in these things? Is it a pure numbers and analytics game, or are you looking for something else, kind of the intangibles, to break it down to that final 150 or whatever the number is that's going to be going to the final event in September?
This is my favorite question. I'm glad you asked, because I think this is where a lot of folks don't necessarily understand the process to it. But again, same to what you said. We're not reinventing the wheel. Basically, what we're doing is we're taking a pro evaluation report and we're scaling that into what that looks like at the amateur level. We're tweaking it by a bit, but not anything crazy. We're just breaking down the pure simplicities and the things that we're looking for from your offensive tools if you're a position player. So whether that's power, your contact, and your swing mechanics. From a defensive perspective, from your position player, we're also accounting for your glove, your footwork, your arm, and then packaging that whole thing up as well is your 60 time based on telling, which speaks to your athleticism and your ability to move and things like that. From a pitcher perspective, we're looking at not just numbers, and I think that's where things get very jaded. We're not looking for people to shatter numbers on the gun. What we are looking for is, can you pitch, right? It's pitchability. So we're looking for arm action, your command, your delivery. How does your off-speed pitches play, and the action that it has on it as well too, in terms of projectability, in terms of the next level. Regardless of what the gun says, from exit velocity or your pitching velocity, those are all extra numbers that will help guide us in the right direction. But primarily, that is where we are looking at. And so essentially that looks like it'll be a scale that we'll put together, and each player will basically have a different number on that scale. And it'll show us, someone could be very offensive based on the top end, where someone could be a little bit less on the defensive side. So that will kind of balance itself out based on different players and different attributes. But yeah, I can't stress enough that this is not necessarily a metrics play for us, right? Whether you flash 90 on the gun, that's not an end all be all, right? Because we've seen that a lot too, where players will just try to muscle up and throw as hard as they can. But does that play at the next level in terms of pitchability? Maybe not so much, right? So there's also other factors in terms of what we see in the game, but you accumulate everything all together, and that's where a lot of our decisions come through when you're selecting the top 150.
I was going to ask about the reputational side of things too, right? Because a lot of guys might be gamers and they might have a bad day at an event, at a showcase, at a tryout. How much does that play into the decision-making process, as well as like, hey, talking to different people and saying, hey, that's a good teammate who just had a bad day, or hey, this guy's always a gamer when push comes to shove. He might have been sick that day, kind of thing.
Yep. No, 100%. I think it's not an end all be all. I think what it is, it's a benchmark, right? So it's like everyone has a bad test, but it doesn't necessarily mean you failed the course. Yep. And so I reference that a lot because yeah, it gets intimidating sometimes, and I get it, right? Like we've been through tryouts before ourselves, and sometimes when you don't hear your name get called, it's a little demotivating, but we want to encourage that in terms of like, hey, if you didn't hear your name, if you don't think that you're good enough, like let's make those strides so that you can continue to get stronger, bigger, faster, to making sure that you make those appropriate steps to getting back. And whether it's your name called here through the Toronto Blue Jays or the Canadian Futures Showcase, or whether that's you getting a scholarship opportunity or just you advancing in your baseball career, we hope that somehow plays a factor into that as well too, and not taken so much from the negative perspective. But yeah, absolutely. I think that's a big factor in terms of us also connecting with different coaches across the country, being like, hey, have you heard about these players? Have you seen anything more that we didn't see in terms of what we missed? And understanding that as input, but not basing that off of what the coaches are saying, because we'll try our best to see a lot of these players on the circuit, whether that's through tournaments in Canada. There's scouts everywhere that the Blue Jays have from. We cover a wide North American territory from all the tournaments that they're covering. Not to mention just globally too, but if we missed you and we get to see you again, like those are also all valuable tools. And then going back to your earlier point, Joe, you mentioned some of the intangibles. Like that's like music to my ears, right?
Mhm.
Like the hustling on and off the field, being able to, like, when you're shagging BP, are you still taking in some defensive reps? Are you helping pick up the balls? Like, these are all things that basically, and Walt talks about this too, but like, how do you separate yourself from the pack, and how do you get noticed by scouts to be able to take it to that next level?
You can't teach those kinds of things, right? And you
Yeah.
can't show it off on a radar gun or anything else like that. So, love to hear it. You've been doing this for a while now. I think you started in 2018 in various different roles throughout, and you've been able to travel the countryside a few different times. How cool is it to see the talent and the wide breadth of talent across the country? And what are you noticing from a personal perspective?
It's being able, so I when I started, I didn't realize how cool Canada was.
Mm.
I never had the opportunity to get out of Ontario as much as I would have liked to. And being able to see different provinces from just like a personal perspective, awesome.
Yeah.
Like, so many cool things. And I always encourage people, I was like, man, you guys are traveling out of country, you're going different places. I was like, take a second at some point and before you die, is make sure you go and check out what Canada has to offer, because it is spectacular, from coast to coast. And it is really, really cool that it's a hidden gem. Um, to your point on the talent, I think that's probably the most exciting thing, right? Is you're seeing year over year kids continue to get better. There are some people that regress, which naturally happens in not just baseball, just in general with other sports. But I think it goes to where those provincial bodies are also going in those directions in terms of making the right strides to, you get better infrastructure when it comes to fields and facilities. The World Series helps a ton in terms of
Mhm.
help getting growth and registration. Like, now we're battling different elements where you're seeing a lot of wait lists in baseball programs, which is a good and bad problem. But we're at a capacity now with coaches and being able to see that. But generally speaking, you're starting to see different markets really start to catch up to the biggest talent pool. And if that doesn't say growing baseball in Canada, then I don't know what else does, right? So I think that's probably the coolest thing.
Absolutely. Last year was your first, if memory serves right, as far as taking the reins from TJ. Anything take you by surprise, or anything that really impressed you, or maybe make you go, oh boy, maybe there's a lot more to this as you put things together?
Yeah, honestly, it's the workload behind the scenes that nobody gets to see. Like, we have a staff as well too. Heather on our team does a really good job on the back end and helping us set up. But yeah, there's a lot of administrative elements that go into this. This is an absolute beast, right? This is an army. It takes a village to put this up at the Rogers Center. And just the amount of departments that are involved in getting this up and going is it's every year I send out a thank you email to everyone on the staff, just because it's like it is crazy to see from start to finish. The days are 12 plus hours for us, while the kids get to play maybe one or two games. But from the staff perspective, it gets pretty lengthy. So it is quite a journey. But no, in terms of TJ, he's put this in a really good spot, and I can't thank him enough for obviously all the guidance and where he's put baseball in this country, and the strides that he's taken with the academy. So now I have some big shoes to fill in terms of being able to help do that too.
Big shoes, but also you're a marketing guy. I'm a comms guy. So I can see where they're different. Note for everyone out there, don't lump marketing and communications in the same thing. It's not the same. Anyways, that's a whole other rant. I do love tapping into that side of the brain, though. And anything that you're working on, anything that you'd love to be able to do with this thing, the entire experience, just to maybe grow it a little bit more. Is there anything kind of percolating in the back of your mind?
I think in general, like I think that's probably the biggest upside that we can have, is because of there's so much room to always grow in anything that you do. I would love to see this, turn into a televised opportunity. I would love to see the showcase grow, where all scouts come out to this from all facets, where it becomes an absolute star on your calendar, where you're marking it. And there's so many different progressions that we want to continue to take, and it's really endless. And I think as we continue, like you mentioned marketing, but as we continue to brand and get the word out and network with more folks, and really ensuring we're battling obviously some of the transfer portal elements too, but we've made this a notarized event where a lot of colleges want to attend and need to attend. But really, yeah, just life factors and obstacles that come into it. But I think generally speaking, we have in the hopper, there's so many good programs that are coming out from the grassroots level. So I know we emphasize on the showcase, but leading up to that, there's so many grassroots programs that we're going to continue to shape and develop and grow that out of province in the next little bit. So that also gets me equally excited because as we continue to grow baseball at that level, it'll eventually translate into kids transferring into the pipeline of the Canadian Future Showcase and putting them on the big stage.
You're talking my language, my man. I love every single word of that. Final question for you. When you finally get to rest at the end of September and you've got that few days to kind of look back on the behemoth that is the Canadian Future Showcase, how do you gauge success? What puts a smile on your face?
Yeah, it's a great question. I get that one asked a lot. I think there's a couple of factors. I think it's success isn't directly after the showcase. I think when you look at the calendar year, my role specifically helps also oversee some of our youth baseball elements, right? A lot of the programming at that entry grassroots level and then at the high performance level kind of flows into this full pipeline opportunity. I think when we get a chance to sit back and look at that, like in terms of success, I think it's, did we accomplish the reach in terms of what we wanted to do with baseball in this country and help grow it in the positive direction? Was that, gaining more fans by introducing fundamentals to baseball at that level where they can now transfer, their knowledge and they go home in their car and they say, hey, mom, dad, I want to play baseball now. Mm-hmm. And if that translates to registering for baseball, that's success. If we see a kid that didn't have the opportunity to get seen and we put them on the big stage at the showcase and being able to pursue college opportunities, and there's tons of success stories that have been down that path. I ended up playing with Matt Brash at Niagara, who was exactly that, who came from Kingston, who didn't play any sort of travel ball. These are the success stories that like get me out of bed every single day, because that's when we're doing the right thing in this program. And I'm excited to continuously turn the page and see that. The world, I can't speak to this enough, but just the push of the World Series that the Blue Jays did and the impact that we're seeing. We see kids playing baseball in the fall on diamonds, especially in my neighborhood, where I've never seen used before from that perspective. So it's things like that, right? Putting on that Vladdy jersey. We've all done it. Bottom of the ninth, 2 out, bases loaded. You take your air swing, right? So it translates in so many different ways. You talk again on the marketing side. These are all these intangibles that you don't necessarily measure from a success perspective. Yeah, we have our own KPIs that we're going to adhere to, but these are all the things that I deem as success when you look back at the whole year.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's going to be a fun year indeed, with a lot going on. In particular, starting off with the tryout tour, and it's in Sylvan Lake on Tuesday and Saskatoon on Wednesday. Geoff Seto, always a pleasure getting a chance to catch up with you. Thank you so much for the time, and looking forward to having you out in our neck of the woods in just a few days here.
Appreciate it, Joe. Thanks for having me.
Thanks again to Nick Sauve, Kalem Haney, and Geoff Seto for joining us this time around, and thanks to all of you for downloading and listening. We'll have another couple of episodes ready for you next week, and spoiler alert, you're going to hear from a couple of legends in these parts, with Etzcom's Skylar Stromsmo and longtime Okotoks Dogs coach Dave Robb, as we go long form with the both of them. And then we might just have an episode a day for the following week, as there's just so much going on. So if you're loving our shows, now's the time to hit subscribe so you don't miss a moment of the action. A tip of the cap, as always, to our Platinum supporters, the Okotoks Dogs, Under the Light Sports and Entertainment, and the Western Canadian Baseball League, for their generosity in helping us tell the game stories in our province. For more on our tremendous teammates or to join our roster, head to albertadugoutstories.com/supporters. Until next time, thank you for all of your support, online, on social, and on air, of Alberta Dugout Stories.